Hey fellas, what's going on? Agent Not So Lazy here. It's gonna be a bit of a different style of video this time. If you're wondering why I haven't been uploading for the past week, the whole week has been a bit rough, man. I'm tired, to be honest. Last week after the first stream, I did something a bit stupid, and I won't be ashamed to admit it because this was my own fault. I got infected with malwares. Not one, but two. One was a crypto mining virus, and another was a freaking rootkit, which led to the crypto mining virus in my system. So, how did I get infected? I'll come to it. The thing is, if you're on the internet, please use your common sense. You will have a better chance of surviving against any malware attacks if you use your brain. And for the one moment I turned it off, I ended up with the malware on my system. So yeah, common sense is your biggest help anywhere you go. And if you're wondering why I'm stuttering, because I'm still trying to compose myself while the things have settled down a bit since the last weekend. And today is Sunday around like 3 a.m. And this was exactly the time when I got hit by the malware last week. So coming to the real life, your work life cannot be always good. There'll be ups and downs. And the same thing happened with me. Last year, November, I was almost, thrown out of my job because of some office politics, let's just say that. I don't want to get into the details about that. I don't want to point some fingers. Neither do I want to mention which organization I work for. So that was the time when I thought, okay, fine, enough of playing around. It's almost 2.5 years. I should be moving on to my next bigger goal because I have been a bit too stagnant at my work. Voila! Opens up to multiple job profiles and LinkedIn. So yes, continuous spam applying of jobs. I applied to over around like 300 or 400 companies in span of like 2 months. And that's why I was a bit too busy when I had the break and when my work was slowing down slowly. And that's why I found the time to make the videos for last few months actually. That's why it was the main reason, like I had a bit too much of free time. So I thought, why not? Let's get myself distracted a bit with YouTube. So yeah, that's how it was. So among them, one of the recruiters actually reached out to me recently, that being on last Sunday. And usually I read my emails after once I'm done any of my recording because I do it at night. Daytime is a bit hard as I'm occupied through the day. So when I went to sleep, before I went to sleep, I checked my mails. And one of them had the malware. So what happened is, I usually check my mails, usually nothing happens. But the malware trigger was very interesting, I have to say. So I run a few of outdated extensions that are very niche. And I have been using them since my university days. That's from like between 7 to 4 years back from now. So what happened is, 7 to 3 years back from now. So what happened is, among them, there was one of the extensions that was being compromised because it was not updated for over 3 years or 4 years. I don't know, the extension was badly maintained, but it was mainly for controlling the audio gain in the mic, especially when you're in Teams or Google Meet. Your mic keeps fluctuating, and especially having this big of a mic, the audio likes to play around a lot. And like everyone would be saying, Arnav, we can't hear you. Even if I'm speaking at top of my lungs. So I enabled the extension. Nothing happened for almost the entirety of university and even during the work. And all of a sudden, you remember when the Chrome pushed out the Manifest v3 update? This extension was one among them to get disabled. And I manually activated it. Because I have been using it, because I do tend to attend some calls on Google Meet sometimes. It's absolute necessity. And having this good of a hardware sometimes is like, oh man, do I really need to downgrade for people to talk to me? I was really like, can't be bothered. I'd rather install an extension than change my hardware for them. So that was the cause how I got infected. So I opened the mail. It triggered some very abnormal network spike because I tend to have my task manager open in the second monitor whenever I do something. Because sometimes during the stream of 4 days back. Even then, you remember how the performance was getting affected. So I usually keep my network tab open in Task Manager. And I noticed my network upload speed and download speed were being fluctuating while I was not doing anything on the network. And this would only happen if I was getting affected by something. And because I only had Chrome open, my CPU usage is closer to like 15 to 20%. And my GPU is at 30% because I have wallpaper engine running with my wallpaper. That being, if I can show it to you, this is the wallpaper we are looking at. This takes up almost 30% of my GPU. If I go to Task Manager and if I show it to you, you can see the GPU NVIDIA RTX 4070 is being used for 30%, 33% to be more precise. So I noticed like my GPU usage went to 60-70%. Well, I'm not doing anything. That triggered a very big red flag for me. I was like, okay, we need to get deep of this. So I pulled out the Ethernet, started to scan for the malwares. Since I have a very weird configuration in my system, that being I can remote into my main PC through my laptop, and that can be a one-way connection. So I was able to isolate my system. Though it was on LAN, I disabled the internet access to it so that it cannot upload. And that's how I found out like some new files were generated in the system. And I took the samples of it so that my laptop, the good thing is my laptop didn't get affected while I was doing this while remotely logged into my system. I took the files, took the malware bytes, malware submissions and checking the files. It couldn't detect it. So okay, what's the next best option? Boot into safe mode, manually remove the malware. Guess what? It didn't work. Okay, what's the next best course of action? Since the system is already removed from internet, pull out the SSD. And also I run a bit of a custom file recovery system, that is it live images all my disks. I have like around 3 SSD in my system. All of them, 2 of them are M.2, one is SATA. And I also run a parity drive that is a 8TB Samsung Evo, which is also running on SATA, by the way. So that drive is like my live clone for all my disks. So I have a bit of a weird file system where it clones every files on prior to shutdown, basically, so that in case anything goes wrong, I can boot from that image. Luckily for me, the thing is, since it's written by me, I don't trust my own code. I have to say that. I take that, I see that no traces of malware on there, and that happy for me. I'm happy. What's next? Clean up the SSD. For that, since I didn't trust that Windows malware could have been removed by just deleting the volume and reinstalling it, it could have also infected my portable drives. Next course of action, I visit a store I live in Chennai in India. So what happened is, I took it to a store. I said, my brother, please help me out. My SSD is infected with malware and I need a clean wipe. And usually you don't get this kind of services here unless you know the person really well. So I took it to him. He said, okay, fine, brother. I know you. I understand what you can be going through. He did it for me. For a reasonable price, of course. Because it's a malware. And they don't want to get infected while cleaning it up. Got back the SSD. And this is already like hour 8 into the issue. While I got affected by the malware. Like, I didn't sleep for almost 2 days when this happened. Though the process took only close to like 1 full day, the trauma recovery was almost a day, because another day on top of the first day. Got the SSD back like in like 6 hours after the clean wipe. Put it back in my system, reinstall Windows, and slowly started recovering all the images, because I have closer to like 7 TB of data. Though the boot drive is a Gen 4 NVMe drive, my clone disk is a SATA. So I'm rate limited by speed of SATA, that being 1 Gbps if I don't mistake. So yeah, that was closer to like 14 to 15 hours just to restore. Then comes the reinstalling of applications, because some applications don't like to play well when you clone them. So I had to reinstall, got everything reinstalled again, and system was back to normal. And after that I had 3 or 4 streams following days. But the thing is, during this 1 week I've learned quite a lot, to be honest. Like, if something is meant to be disabled it. Like, I am a very cautious person when it comes to like maintaining my backups and preparedness. That's why this recovery was so fast. Even I didn't want to lose my data, that's why I made the system for myself. And yeah, it was a bit of a smoother than I expected for how fast I was able to recover all my data, to be honest. But yeah, now I also need to make this drive a bit more fast. That's my clone drive. And for that, just give me a second. If I have it nearby in my hand. So I made a bit of a purchase actually after that issue. This is a portable M.2 converter. Basically, since my SSD was infected, I got it cleaned up and I replaced the boot drive with a new one now. So the original boot drive is over here. And this is going to act as like my portable OS cache now. Because this was really crazy, I have to say. But I don't want to get into details, many of you won't understand. But yeah, getting hacked was pretty hard, I have to say. It's not a hack, it's more like me infecting myself with a malware. A small one, but a new strain. So it was pretty interesting to see like how the malware behaves in the background. Oh man, oh man. Anyway, also another small update guys. So we are heading into April within like next 2 days. I think today is 30th as I'm recording this video. So do expect a bit of a slowdown in my long form videos for the whole month of April and the first week of May, because I'll be traveling with my family to my hometown. That means I won't have access to my great PC. I have to work with my laptop. My laptop is pretty old, I have to say. Yes, it can play games obviously, but recording maybe is a bit of a stretch. I will try to post some videos. I have already pre-recorded multiple stuff, that being the Warframe's Road to Steel Path, since Warframe made a recent change about how you can unlock Steel Path once you have completed the base start chart prior to New War. So I'm already like halfway through it, like with like 6 hours and 30 minutes into the run, where I'm almost at like I think so Pluto Junction, which means War Within is next, Sacrifice, and that should unlock all the nodes. And I'm trying to do this with a Master Rank 0 account, which means I won't be able to build most of the weapons. I'll be limited to the starter frame. I mean, I can build a new frame, but the thing is I have to buy it plat, and I don't want to buy plat. Trading is disabled till MR2. So that means even if I want, I can't push stuff from my main account to this account. And this account is going to be a bit of a temporary one, so I will delete it after like 6 months maybe, once this series is complete. That is the Road to Steel Path. Hopefully you will have fun watching the series, because I'll be posting it throughout the month of April. Maybe like 2 to 3 part series, like how I made this account, which also will give you like a bit of a small guide on how you can reach to Steel Path if you're a very new player of Warframe. And I don't know why my glass is being so reflective, so I'll remove it for now. So yeah, so that's what happened. Other than this, I think so that's all I wanted to talk about. Other than this, I also have a collab upcoming with one of my friends who has been my co-host for our stream for the whole month. And I was streaming Warframe's new update, that being Okesenku. Maybe he'll come up with me in a few of the videos soon, that being for the Soulframe, because what happened is I had like around 5 keys of Soulframe. I gave one away. 4 of them were given to my friends, in which only 2 of them are actively playing, one among them being Okesenku. So I thought, brother, since you play this game a lot more than me, why don't we hop into a collab, because I know you want to get into content creation of Soulframe, and I thought, why don't I give you a platform, though you have your own channel. So this is going to be like a promotion for him as well once he comes here. I do intend to post Soulframe. I am playing Soulframe quite a bit actually, like how much, 10 hours a week. That's a pretty reasonable amount for playing casually, because there's not much content in Soulframe. And today, just before I'm recording this video, I was with Okesenku to play Soulframe a bit more, like unlocking the map, because they did some changes on how you progress through the game now. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be maybe recording it tomorrow with him when we both find time. So yeah, that's one among the content I'm having planned for now. Also, I got a haircut, if you have noticed it from the last video. I know it looks very awkward with the buzz cut, but yeah, I am gonna miss that long hair. for a while. And other than this, there's also one more update. If you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know about the gaming under, that being my old alias, which was gone. So recently I started to like repost all the old songs from back in the day, that being from 8 years back, and I'm slowly restoring one by one. One among them, the biggest one being the Around the Life album, which was remastered. And boy oh boy, it is music to my ears. So yeah, if you're listening to the music in the background of this video, do go and drop a sub into the channel. It's available both on SoundCloud and on... Oh, I got a phone message. Just give me a second. Okay, enough of that. So yeah, it was just from my friend. I just wanted to say hi, I guess I should say. So what was I saying? Yeah, the music. So Around the Life remaster was, in my opinion, one among the most time consuming projects I had done. And right now I also intend to remaster the other 3 or 4 tracks that are remaining. Okay, let me count. Doesn't Take, Disturbed, Memories, Enter the Jungle. So it's 4 of them. So 4 of the tracks are still remaining. I have 2 more tracks that I'm preparing, and hopefully with a vocal. It's like a 6 songs small song pack. That's one more thing I'm working on. So my days have been pretty tight, I have to say. Though I lost like 2 of the project files because of this malware infection, because I didn't create a clone of that folder in specific. Yeah, I know, making your own code sometimes can be harsh, especially when you're making your own solutions for problems. So yeah, it was pretty painful, like for the 24 hours of suffering, I have to say. So yeah, hope you guys stay safe and maybe tune into the Twitch streams whenever I'm live. Though maybe there's no streams for upcoming 1 month. Maybe it'll resume in May, hopefully. And I'll be making more content once I'm back, because I'll be leaving my full-time job soon, because I was planning to go for my higher education going this year. So that's one more thing. So I will have a lot more time, though. For higher education, I'll say it's more like I know what's going to be in the syllabus. It's just like a proof of concept to me, more like proof on paper, whatever you say it as. So yeah, it's just, stuff happens in life and you have to take it up. So then guys, hope you are staying well, keep your loved ones safe, and peace out. This has been Lazy, and hope you take care of yourself.